Well, welcome to another edition of Grace on the Go. I'm Pastor Elvin Dillard, and we're going to be discussing a verse that Pastor Travis preached on this, quite often referred to as the Golden Rule. Reading from the ESV, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, it says, "So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets." And most of us remember that verse, more familiar with possibly the King James Version, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." Now, backing up a little bit in chapter 7 to add just a bit of context, Jesus begins to teach on the issue and the principle of judging. And of course, he gives us some very clear guidelines on how to judge or how not to judge others. But then he moves to the issue of asking God for things. And ask and it'll be given, and seek and you'll find, knock and it'll be open to you. And another verse that's just been horribly misused within the Christian community. You see, when we talk about judging others, typically we set up our own set of scales to determine what is just, what is unjust, what is right, or what is wrong. And that will vary in any given situation. And as far as asking God for things, we don't even know how to ask for good things. We are tainted by sin and selfishness. And so I think in the issue of asking God for things, we need to let Him determine what is best for us, allowing the Holy Spirit to direct us in our prayers. So now we come back to verse 12. And how do we act towards others? Well, you know, there's just some folks out there that don't deserve any grace, isn't there? Well, we would never say that in the Christian community, but do we sometimes think it? Do we sometimes think that there are people who just don't deserve even to be saved? Of course, that sets us up on our own little throne or altar, doesn't it? Because that presupposes that we have determined that we are worthy of being saved. Somehow we are worthy of God's grace. So what if God gave us what we deserved? I think we all know the answer to that. And it's not good. But He has extended grace. He has chosen to extend mercy. He has chosen to extend to everyone who would believe. So what about the Golden Rule? Well, Christ makes an interesting point in the last few words of this verse. For this is the law and the prophets. Well, remember, who is the sum total of the fulfillment of the law and the prophets is Christ Himself. Jesus is literally and simply asking us to conduct our lives in a manner that follows His example. How did He treat people? Then that's the way we should treat people. Should we extend grace and mercy? Absolutely. Will it sometimes seem unfair to us? Absolutely. But this is not about fairness. This is about righteousness. And that which Christ has given us, we must be willing to extend to all that we encounter.